What is going on, everybody? It's the Scary Snobs, Jason, Paul. Paul, how you doing, man? How's your week
I'm
been?
doing great. I'm doing good, man. Just trying to enjoy as much horror as I can before they get rid of a lot of it over summer, which they always do. But been enjoying it as much as I can this week.
Yeah, we got some stuff coming out this year, though, so still more in the pipe. And before we jump into everything we're going to talk about, I haven't watched the latest episode, but I did watch the first one of the new second half of the season of Chucky. What have you thought so far?
I've enjoyed it. I feel like they're still keeping the pace very well. I'm enjoying how the direction of the story, because I feel like that you kind of know which direction we're going, but they don't always make it so obvious, and it still makes sense. So I don't feel like
Mm.
they go off the rails or make it a completely different show where you're like, well, this isn't the Chucky I like season one. I think you'll still enjoy it on this season so far.
Yeah, oh my god, it's so I love it's so good. It's so good. There's something that happened in this first episode that I didn't expect to happen yet. But if you've watched the series so far, you know that there's a certain actor that Chucky likes to kill over and over again, and I dig it. And if season 4 rolls around, I hope we get Devon Sawa back again, because I love that ongoing thing. They even have like a Twitter thing where they go back and forth with each other, Chucky and Devon. So it's great,
That's awesome.
man. Yeah. But so before we get to talking about Hell House LLC, there's a couple news stories that dropped. One is, I mean, no surprise, but we're getting Five Nights at Freddy's, the sequel. Are you excited about this? Did you watch the first one?
I enjoyed the first one. I enjoyed Willy's Wonderland more with Nicolas Cage, and I get they're completely different, but they're also kind of the same theme in my opinion. So I enjoyed Nicolas Cage more. This one wasn't bad. I'm not mad that they're making a sequel, and I still will go see it. But I'm not dying to see this as much as I would if they made a Willy's Wonderland 2.
I haven't seen Willy's Wonderland yet, and I probably should. I think it might have helped with my enjoyment of Five Nights at Freddy's that I didn't have that as a benchmark. But I also enjoyed it. There's a few things I wish they had done differently, and I kind of hope that they do that with the sequel going into it. I do like the fact that Matthew Lillard is doing horror again. That makes me
Yes.
really happy, and I hope we get to see that continue into the sequel. But yeah, you know how I feel about Blumhouse. I will always give their movies a chance, whether I like them or not. So if they make a sequel
Right.
to a movie I don't enjoy, I'm still going to check out the sequel, because, like I said, they go balls to the wall sometimes.
Yeah,
Like
they do.
Happy Death Day 2 is an example of balls to the wall fun.
Yeah.
But we got the Maxine trailer,
Yes. Oh my
dude.
god. I am so stoked. I think I'm gonna love this one more than Pearl or X. I know I watched an interview. Mia Goth was saying that this was the best one out of the three. Not that the other two were bad, but this one she had the most fun on. So I'm really curious, because I thought Pearl was her best performance I've ever seen her do. So if she's saying she really enjoyed this, that tells me she put her heart into this one, and it's probably going to be even better than her performance in Pearl, which I am absolutely excited to see. I like how they bring in like the serial killers from real life into this one as kind of the premise. I can't wait for it to come out. I wish it was dropping next month or tomorrow.
Me too, man. I liked X a lot. I liked Pearl a little bit more because it added a quirkiness to it that I really dug, and I can't wait to see where we go with Maxine. I
Yes.
can't wait to see like the two stories kind of come together in this trilogy ender. So it should be fun. This is my favorite series I think that A24 has done. I'm not the biggest A24 fan, but I do like some of what they do. And so
Okay.
far, this series is fantastic. Like you said, Mia Goth is fantastic, and Jenna Ortega was in the first movie.
Yeah.
And they got a good cast in this one too.
Yeah, they got a super good cast for this one. I was like, okay, I see A24 trying to lay down thick.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other news story I got, which will kind of lead us into our movie that we're going to talk about, is the Blair Witch Project is getting a reimagining with Blumhouse. I know there's controversy because the original team isn't involved and they haven't been like approached about this. And there's a whole bunch of stuff with the original Blair Witch Project. If you guys want to go back and check it out, I don't want to get your take on this first because I have a hot take about Blair Witch that a lot of people don't agree with. But so, what are your thoughts of the first one or even the second and third one?
Okay, so when I first saw the Blair Witch, I absolutely loved it because at the time, our house, for whatever reason, had speakers installed in the whole house, like in the walls. So when I put that on surround sound, when they're running through the house, you'd hear them start upstairs and it'd work its way down to you. So because of that, I really did enjoy the Blair Witch. I just thought it was different. You know, it was my first time seeing like really a black and white film like that. That was newer. It added scary moments. It was fun. It was gritty. The second one I didn't really care for because that was the one with the gentleman from Burn Notice, right? I forget that actor's name.
I haven't seen the second one. I've only seen the first and third. The second one was
Okay.
not found footage, from what I
Yeah, that one I did not enjoy. I thought it was awful. But the third one that was found footage, one of my best friends, Matt, and I actually screened that movie in the theater at like 2 a.m. And I definitely enjoyed that one because I thought it was a good way of revamping the original one and taking a little bit of the story to run with it. I thought it paid its dues, and the jump scenes that were awesome. So I'm kind of excited to see what happens with this one. If they're just redoing the whole Blair Witch, or if we're adding to it. I'll still see it because, like you said, I see everything from that studio as well. And so far, besides the second one, in my opinion, they haven't ruined the Blair Witch yet. So I'm just excited to see a new take on it.
Nice. So the first Blair Witch movie I've seen once, and I absolutely hated it. I'm not the biggest found footage fan to begin with.
Okay.
Some stuff, it gets through to me. Like I think the second Paranormal Activity, or maybe it was the third. They all run together. But I did like a couple of the Paranormal Activity movies. I liked a movie called Deadstream that was on Shudder. There are some, but the first Blair Witch, it was the main lady in the cast. She annoyed me to like no end in that movie. I know she was scared, and maybe that was the point, but yeah, I couldn't do it. Second one I didn't watch because I didn't hear anything good about it. I plan on fixing that soon. I don't know if it's fixing it or torturing myself, but we'll find out. I did like the third one though, so maybe I should go back and check out the first one. The third one was pretty good, and in the hands of Blumhouse, I kind of wish for these like reboots that they do, I wish that Blumhouse would find a way, because I know John Carpenter was loosely involved with Halloween. Like he at least had somebody approached him and had a chat with him about it. I kind of wish that they would involve the original people to some extent when they're making these reboots, because I don't think Exorcist involved anybody from the original teams that made it. And I kind of wish that Blair Witch, that they, at the very least, have them on as a creative consultant, kind of like what Scream did with 5 and 6, where Kevin Williamson wasn't actively involved, but he was still around. They let him around. They talked to him about the scripts, and he was there. He's kind of like a creative consultant for the Scream movies. I wish they'd kind of do that with Blair Witch, but I'm curious to see what they do with found footage. Has Blumhouse released found footage? I'm sure they have.
I'm trying to remember exactly. I know they have. Let me look that up real quick. Well,
I think Paranormal Activity is Blumhouse.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay. Well, then there you go.
While
you're looking, I'll go ahead and announce you guys that Late Night with the Devil has just released on video on demand. I know it's about to shortly release on Shudder, and I would advise to watch it. If you do enjoy it, like I did enjoy it, I'd say try to do them a favor. Go ahead and buy it. I think it's on sale right now just for $10 on Vudu. I went ahead and bought it because any money they can get is going to tell them they're doing a good job, and that's going to encourage more movies like Late Night with the Devil, which I absolutely want to see more of. So you got an extra $10 and you want to watch something good, I think it's absolutely worth it. And if you think I'm wrong, then probably never going to listen to me again, and that's fine because I'm right.
So yeah, Blumhouse, I believe, they were built on the Paranormal Activity franchise. So yeah, they did the Paranormal Activities. They also did Unfriended, which is another found footage / computer-based movie that I really enjoyed. The computer gimmick, I'm still in on. Like, I really like Searching, and I really like Missing, and I liked Unfriended. So they still have me on that. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of them going back to what that started them with the Blair Witch Project. So that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, I forgot they were that, and I forgot about the movie Unfriended, honestly, because I liked Unfriended. Then was it The Host, where those girls did like a seance over that one? I really enjoyed. That was
they did it on Zoom.
Yeah, and they filmed it on Zoom, and I was like, kudos to y'all being smart. Like, you did a great job.
Man. I mean, COVID had everybody inside. They found a way to adapt and work around that, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so Hell House LLC. Tell everybody about the movie, Paul.
Okay, so Hell House LLC is about a group of friends that they have a ringleader, of course, that will rent or buy old abandoned buildings or things like that and start up new haunts. This one is about them buying one out in Pennsylvania. He has been very hush-hush about it, just told his friends we're packing up and going. They know the routine, so they show up. They got it really dirt cheap, and half of it's already kind of set up for them, so they're kind of excited and checking it out, but soon they realize why they got it cheap. There seems to be some type of spirit or spirits there manipulating certain things, and some of them start falling out. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely playing on, you know, your group of friends, because I feel like a lot of people have a core group of friends, so you can kind of connect a lot of these characters to who's your friend in friend group or yourself even, and seeing, you know, oh, I'd be this guy in this situation. And it's kind of fun seeing them turn on each other slightly, and just how they played with playing on your fears of what's actually in the dark or moving around or trying to get out. I loved Hell House, and I hope you didn't hate it.
I had a tough time getting into it. Like I said, found
Okay.
footage is very hard for me. It's just
Mhm.
it's yeah. I don't know what it is about it, because there's nothing like on the surface that's wrong with it. It was fine. I mean, there was one moment with the clown in the movie that kind of scared me, but yeah, for the most part, it was hard for me to get into. I don't know
gotcha.
why. I really don't. There's
That's
no good reason behind it, but yeah.
that's fair though. I get that, and now I feel bad. I didn't know you weren't the biggest advocate for Hell House or found footage, or else I would
But
have.
like I said, man, there's been some I've liked and I've really liked. So I'm
Right.
all for, like, if you wanted me to check out Hell House 2 tomorrow, I would check it out, because
I
you
get
know,
you.
I never know. You never know. Like Blair Witch 2, or Paranormal Activity, I dug. I didn't really get into the first one. So
Right.
there is no rhyme or reason to these found footage movies that I like. Maybe it's just my mindset that day too.
Right. That's fair too. And I will say I like the second one better than the first one. I just figured the first one was a better one to start off on. But if I go back and watch them, it's typically I always rewatch the second.
Nice.
Just
There's
because
3 now?
there's 4, because there's Hell House 1, Hell House 2, Hell House, this Lake of Fire. Then the 4th one is kind of like Paranormal Activities now, or the last, that Blair Witch you like, the 3rd one. It's kind of filmed with a better camera and stuff like that. And that, I forget what that one's called. I think it's just called the Abaddon or something like that. The first 2 were good. The 3rd was not good. And then the latest one was actually pretty good as far as Hell House is
The latest one was Origins, right?
There you go. That's what it was. Thank you.
Yeah, I did my after I watched these movies and I form my opinion. I always jump on Rotten Tomatoes, kind of see where my opinion gauges with the mass audience, man. And I'm definitely in the minority for Hell House, guys. So if you're into found footage, I do recommend checking it out, because obviously smarter people have liked it more than me. So definitely go check it out.
And if you're a huge fan of Hell House, I will say, you guys, if you live anywhere near Pennsylvania, every year, I think it's typically late September where they filmed it, they'll have the actors come out to scare you in costume, and you can spend the night in the Abaddon Hotel. And I've definitely been looking at that a lot. You know, every year I'm like, maybe I can afford it this year. I can take off time. And it hasn't happened yet, but it just sounds like a lot of fun, just getting chased around or messed with by those clowns, just to get caught up in the moment.
Is found footage your favorite form of horror?
I wouldn't say my favorite. I just feel like for me, that's the only one that typically will get my heart rate going. Just because just for whatever reason, I think it's just because I picture myself behind the camera, so I feel like I'm actually there. As opposed to other films, like the jump scares don't get me. The only thing that gets me in mainstream horror a lot of times is the noise. So like if they have a movie that's at like, you know, a 3, but then the scary scene happens and it pump it up to like a 7 or an 8, like you're gonna get me to jump. It's always noise. It's not visuals for me. But for whatever reason, those POVs they get me, man. Just because I guess I just get so caught up into it.
So oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. Man,
you're welcome. I do it to make all the time.
From the same breed, I guess. What was the last movie that did scare you?
Ooh, that'd be a tough one. You know, it's one that Sturdy recommended, from Sir Sturdy's Horror. I'm thinking of Blair Witch now. It's something else. It's the what?
Thanksgiving, Blood Lake.
No, it's like 2 words. It's like the something Creek or Black. I can't remember.
Creek?
It's. I feel bad. I'm not trying to have to air. What is it called? Creek Lake. I know there's like 8 of these movies, and I've seen them all, and I should know what they are. And they're found footage as well. They're kind of like Blair or Paranormal Activity if it wasn't trying to get you on jump scares. Like it seems like more realistic haunting.
Cherokee Creek?
No.
Okay, I just typed in Sturdy and Creek.
Dang. Blackwell. It's a Blackwell ghost. Jesus.
Oh yeah, there's like 19 of them on.
Yes.
Tubi or something.
The first one, just because I didn't expect anything from the first one, because when you see it, it's like, okay, it's just one guy, and you're like, okay, it's not going to be as good as Paranormal Activity, but some of those scenes, or the drama, it's very thick. It pulls you in because, you know, he drifts off just for a second. Well, that's when the door lightly moves or a chair slightly moves, and he almost thinks that it happened, but then he's like, that didn't happen. And it's just crazy because it's next to him. And like I said, if I try to put myself in a situation, I'm like, I've had situations like that where I'm like, did I leave the door open, or, you know, did I, you know, put my shoes there, or did I not? And it's like that part just kind of will get me more than anything, because then I start questioning my own sanity or realm of where I sleep. So that was probably the last one to scare me, quote unquote.
Mine was Smile. That movie effed me up.
That's fair.
Something about those girls, the way they smile in that movie, it gave me nightmares. And I don't get scared in movies very often. I think that's the first one that's done it since I saw maybe The Shining at home for the first time.
Okay, that's fair. Huh. See, now I got to revisit Smile, because I didn't hate Smile. I just think I gave it like a 5 out of 10. But that you saying that makes me want to rewatch it, because I'm like, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, me and my podcasting partner Max, he was also terrified of that movie. And the kids knew I was. The kids I went with weren't. So it was totally me. But I caught myself covering my eyes a few times. And so they would do that smile to me for like 2 weeks after we saw the movie, and it just it was terrifying. Absolutely awesome. Terrifying. But I'm kind of curious. Do you play a lot of horror-based video games?
The only one I say I do actually play is the Quarry.
So good.
Because Sam and I have been playing that, and we're finally getting to a point where we think we played it perfectly for the camp counselors. Like we're like, you know, probably an hour out from everybody making it out. So fingers crossed we don't mess it up. Right. So we'll play like a section, but we're so like, oh no, we don't want to mess it up. Let's take a break. But yeah, that game is amazing. It's so much fun, especially if you love horror, because you get it like, it's like directing a movie while also kind of playing a game. So for me, you know, it's my heaven right there.
And it's got, I believe David Duchovny does one of the characters in there. Yeah, it is so good. I want more horror video games like this. Like, I would like to see a story structured, like, you take one of the IP that we all love, like Friday the 13th, but instead of giving us a thing where we're just in a campgrounds and trying to run from Jason, give us a story structure behind it where we kind of live through the movie. And I think that'd be pretty cool if they did that more, like the Telltale games do.
Yep, that'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Or Something to Die, Dead by Daylight. Is that the one where they have Ghostface and you can play Ghostface and you just one person trying to chase you and you kill each other, kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, but you can mix up the villain that you're going to be.
Yeah, I really like the Resident Evil series, but I think Silent Hill is one. Silent Hill would be a good one to get the Quarry treatment.
Yes, that'd be intense. That'd be too intense.
Because Silent Hill needs a reboot. I mean, they haven't really made a good game or a game in general in quite some time. They were going to do one with the actor who plays Daryl Dixon. I can't remember his name, but that fell through. Yeah, guys, the Quarry. Video game companies love to copy each other. This is a prime real estate, guys. Just jump in and just do what they're doing for a little while. I'm tired of the horror games where we're running from the bad guys. Like, give us something good. Like, I wish Ash vs. Evil Dead was that when that game came out.
That'd be a lot of fun too. I'm ready. I am excited though. I've been keeping my eye out for Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I do want to get that when that drops, because I do love that movie for everything it is. I saw that for the first time last year.
Okay. So good.
It's so hilarious and just bonkers.
I don't know what I expected, but that was not the movie I expected it to be, and I loved every second of it.
That's awesome.
I avoided it as a kid because of it. I was like, I already like one scary clown movie. I don't know that I want to be scared by more than one clown, but it's really not a scary movie, guys. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's funny that it counts as a horror And I get,
Mhm.
it's clowns, from outer space killing people, but it's not that horror-esque. I mean, it has the elements, I would argue, but like you said, I mean, especially by nowadays standards, it's more of a comedy to me,
Mhm.
than a horror
Absolutely.
for sure. But I feel that
Absolutely.
way about not a lot, but a decent amount of older horror movies appear that way, where people were losing their minds over Frankenstein, the first one in black and white, and now it's like, no, that's just a classic. But I've talked to people that they gave them nightmares, like they were looking out their window scared of Frankenstein, stuff like that, and I'm like, oh my god. Like, I ate a sandwich and called it a day, like that's it. But teach their own, and it's all about the telling of the times. Like, I'm sure in a couple years from now people are going to be like, Paranormal Activity, that's okay, that's BS, that's nothing. So I'm interested to see where horror goes from here, but I'm also worried to an extent with how I've seen some of these horrors go too gore happy and make it more of a gore porn instead of a better story or better scares, that I don't want it to become just endless kill. Like, I don't want to see a John Wick horror movie.
Or Saw prior to Saw X, what it Saw had
Mhm.
become. Yeah.
Right.
But I agree with you. Speaking of super bloody horror movies, Terrifier 3 just finished filming. Are you a fan of that franchise?
I am. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the comedy of art. Just because I love mimes for whatever reason. But when I was a child, my mom actually took me to go see Marceau before he
Oh,
passed
nice.
away, and so that's a core memory. So anything with mimes or things like that, art wise, absolutely love. So him killing people and being all animated, it's hilarious.
I remember I finished watching Terrifier 1, and somebody asked me how it was, and I'm like, I said, I think I'm crazy because I want to say that I really enjoyed the movie, but that's a lot to enjoy. And then I watched the second one, and that's even more so. And I can't even
Yep.
imagine what they're going to do with 3. Like, judging from the trailer, something awful happens to that poor little girl. And I don't know if
Right.
I'm ready for that yet.
Right. But I'll definitely have to go see it because I'm very curious to find out.
Yeah, I am a fan of that sick, twisted little man.
Mhm.
When
Yep.
he's in the restaurant taunting those girls, I laugh every time I see that clip on the internet. It
Yep.
gets me. It's so good.
They
So
did a
good.
great job with it. And I thought they also, I recently, so this past Friday, we went to go see Abigail.
Okay.
The blood scenes reminded me a lot of Ready or Not. Like, so if you enjoyed Ready or Not and some of those bloody scenes, you would absolutely love this. They did a great job with the comedy. I wouldn't say as far as horror, they did like a phenomenal job, but I think as far as something more like Ready or Not, as far as a horror, they did a great job. I thought that movie was better than I expected. I put it about at a 6 out of 10 for myself, because they kind of take vampire lore and do their own thing, but they do tell you why. Like, they do
I'm a
acknowledge.
big fan of Radio Silence, and I like the fact that Melissa Barrera is becoming like their person. After she was let go of Scream, I'm glad this movie seems to be doing very, very well, and I can't wait to see Abigail. That you just gave me even, made me even more excited to see it because I'm a fan of those guys, and the top you saying that it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it was. We had a lot of fun seeing that. I think the 3 of us saw that. So I put it at 6. Sam put it about as 5. Matt put it at about an 8. So Matt immensely enjoyed it.
Okay.
But I still stick to about my 6 for what it was. As far as a horror rating, a 6 is still good. So yeah, I would recommend to see it. I don't think you're going to be like, this was a waste.
This was awful.
Yeah.
I'll check that out. I might go see it this week. I need to watch Night Swim. They just added that to Peacock, and I remember you and
There you
Sergi
go.
said it was worth a watch on streaming. So I waited for streaming. It's a Blumhouse movie too, I believe.
Yep,
To me, watching the trailer for that, it seems kind of like the one where the lights out, where it's just like leave the damn lights on, nothing happens. Like, why are you going in the water? Just stay out of the pool.
Just fill it with concrete and call it a fucking day. Like, just such an easy solution.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Just leave the lights on. Don't go swimming. Nothing bad is going to happen to you.
Yeah. Lights Out is a fun one. That's one of my go-tos to fall asleep to. I don't know why it puts me that one. And even though I love the movie The Ring, that movie puts me to sleep within that opening scene of them just chit-chatting in front of the TV. Love falling asleep to The Ring. My wife judges me so hard on that because like she knows when like I can't fall asleep because all of a sudden she'll hear the shh from The Ring and she's like, "Oh, you're about to sleep. Okay." Every time.
Well, Paul, thank you so much. Everybody out there, please like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Scene Snobs live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. You can find me on 3 Geeks Podcast, Saturdays at 7 p.m. And Paul, where are you at?
So I'm part of the Scene Snobs. I'm producer there with Mick. Manhattan, and you can find us 7 p.m. for our live shows on Tuesday nights. Also, I have some short horror segments where I do interviews. Those kind of get posted up here and there. But you can find me on Scene Snobs, and make sure to check out Carolina Fear Fest coming up, you guys. It's about a month away right now, and tickets are selling good, and it's going to be a very good con. Mick and I will be there. We're the media spokespeople for them. It's going to be a lot of fun, so make sure to check that out as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. Horror Search 30 is also going to be there, guys, so it's going to be a good one. I might be there. I'm trying to see if I can make it work. But everybody, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.